Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR Today, Monday morning, starting your week off. It's July 13th, and you know how the saying goes. The best part of waking up is a little bit of Meathead in your cup. And joining us this morning, as we have every Monday morning, the beautiful and lovely Linda Kay. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. Enjoying a little meathead in my cup this morning.
That's right. Hey, speaking of Linda Kay, Linda, I hear rumor that over the weekend, you may have made your in-ring debut.
That is true.
Well, I mean, not just ring announcing. You've been in the ring to announce, but how did this happen? Tell us a little story about what happened in Ashburn this last weekend.
Well, I still performed my ring announcing duties, as I always do for GLCW. And then an opportunity came up, a mixed tag match, actually, in the main event. Yeah. One of our stars, Val Malone, she valied another star of ours, Coda Jacobs at GLCW, and they, gave me some heat, some words, if you will, in the ring about how they felt my ring announcing duties or ring announcing performance, was not up to par, up to
It's
their
okay.
level.
On this program, you can say the word duty.
Duty, yes. So, so Coda Jacobs was facing former Impact star Marche All Day Rocket, and he came out and defended me, saying like, "How can you say that about our girl Linda?" And just asking our wonderful crowd in Ashburn how they thought I was doing during the whole show, and they thought, they agreed with him that I was doing at least okay with the show, but then he put out the challenge to them, like, wait a minute, instead of me versus Coda 1-on-1, why don't we make this a mixed tag match?
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh yeah, why not? Like you and the ring announcer, haha, because little did they know, as Marche already knew, that I have actually been training some Muay Thai here.
Muay Thai.
Yeah, Nova Gyms in Oak Creek here, and little did they know that, I would be ready for a fight anytime, anywhere in the ring, and it happened right then and there. So, it was a great match. It was a lot of fun. I was anxious to get into the ring. It finally happened at the very end where I got my hands on Val, and we had our moment, and I got to perform an armbar, Becky Lynch's version of her disarmor. And
that's move 1004, isn't it? Armbar.
So, yeah, that's how it happened, and that's how we closed the show. And the Ashburn crowd very happy with our show and all of our superstars and all of our GLCW staff and talent. We had a really great time, and thank you again to the crew out at the Ashburn Firemen's Picnic for helping us put together another great show this summer.
Hey, so you, along with our friend Lance Allen from today's TMJ4, are the only undefeated wrestlers I know.
Wait,
I mean, Lance, what is he, 3-0 or 4-0? Because he only wrestles the big shows. I mean, he's the Undertaker of the Blizzard Brawls, where he came into Blizzard Brawl 1, 2, and 3 and won each match.
Yeah, it's against Doink, wasn't it?
Doink. I think there was a Bundy and somebody else match. Where Heenan was manager.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes. Well, that's great.
I think matter of fact, I think Lawler was involved in one too, because folks, it's just all hitting me now. I beg you, how we joked about, it was a couple of weeks ago, about going back in the annals of PWR, videos on YouTube. Go back and look for the one where Lance Allen is wrestling Jerry the King Lawler on commentary, Frank the Cosentino. And Frank delivers the line of all lines in a deadpan tone. Oh, he's going for, looks like it's the Patton and Lawler pile driver, and the envelope is in the mailbox.
Oh, God, that was great.
So Damien's calling, and I think Frank is doing color, and I'm sitting in back because I did the other half. And we lose it. I mean, we absolutely lost it because, I've never heard the phrase to start with. It took about 2 seconds to kind of sink in. What does he mean by the envelope is in the mailbox? Do you know what he means by the envelope in the mailbox? I think it was a wedgie that was a 11 out of 10 is basically what it was. The envelope is in the mailbox. Wow.
Right. That makes sense.
Frank is a great play-by-play. I miss doing shows with Frank. For those not from the Milwaukee area, obviously, this show is national, international. We're being listened to on Moons and Saturn and all that other good stuff. Because of the internet. Um, we've done a lot of stuff. The Pro Wrestling Report's been around for 22 years now. Can you believe that?
That is insane.
22 years, and the things that we've done. Damien is called, there was even Titan Professional Wrestling where we were running shows for about a year. There was the Brawl, there was Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. Mid-American Wrestling, we've done shows. We've ring announced. I even had that one match like that Dave and I talked about last week where, Haystacks threw me, I think it was 150 yards across this volleyball court.
Right.
So,
yeah, and then just, the cable access shows are post Raw ESPN Milwaukee live show we did, or Monday Night Meltdown. It goes on, and just how much the show has evolved and is still going strong nowadays. It's such a great feeling, and
we've survived Damien leaving the country. We've survived. Literally, Damien brought back the coronavirus, as far as I understand how the story goes, because he left China and brought something with him.
Yeah.
I don't think he brought it with him, obviously. I think he actually, to be honest, he doesn't spell it out exactly, but I think he smelled what, China was cooking and got out of town in time, is really the way it sounds like it to me.
Yeah.
So we could talk on and on about us, but let's talk about the world of WWE, because last Friday night we had a Smackdown, and tonight we've got Raw. Now, there is a superstar that was showing up on all the shows, NXT, SmackDown, and she was a Raw superstar who's going to be out around till I think the Royal Rumble is when we've been quoted on, Charlotte Flair. There is news that has come out of why Charlotte's out. Not only is she hurt, injured, there is a bigger issue. And when I say bigger, I mean breasts. It has been reported by Charlotte herself that she had a silicone poisoning a couple of years ago. And she said she was offered a couple options. Each one of them with a specific time frame of return. She loves the business so much. She obviously took the shortest path to get back, and she's got complications again. So I don't know if it's poisoning again. She says it's not, but she said she's taking the time off this time to get it corrected, and it's the longest term. So, Linda, your thoughts on Charlotte kind of opening up? No pun intended, but opening up on why she's gone and what she's getting done.
Well, if it's hindering your health and performance, and given everything else going on in the world, that's definitely the right decision. Perhaps the right time as well to heal just in time for the road to WrestleMania to hit, if the Royal Rumble is indeed her, time to come back. And as far as what she needs to get done, as she said, or like, quote, the right thing this time, or the right path. I'm wondering if it means, like taking them out, reducing the size, or there's other implant methods, such as saline, which, would be the safer route, where there's, not that, from what I'm aware of, not an option, or not a chance of some type of poisoning, like silicone.
When I had mine taken out, after the the operation or the procedure that I had, I don't have any scarring either. So
yeah. So, maybe she wants to try another option. I don't think,
possible.
I don't, just because of the size of that she went, I don't foresee her wanting to just completely remove that. Maybe she will. I don't know, but I do know that, there are other cosmetic options for your breast cysts, and perhaps so perhaps she might just go a different route with that. But
I am so sorry. I wish this story would have popped on a non-Lynn today, because I feel bad. I'm sorry, because here I am talking about boobs, and I'm supposed to be an adult, and it's news happens when it happens, and I'm glad you're here, but I apologize. We should have been a more professional show.
Oh, hey, it's okay. I was the one who said breastitis, so yes. So, hopefully that is the only health risk issue that she's having right now, or like maybe there was more injury some elsewhere in her body that she might need some more repair on, some more time to heal. But bringing up, breast implant complications is, you don't hear about that too often in the world of wrestling. We know that there's, just visually, there's a lot of, breast implants in the world of professional wrestling.
Right.
But for someone to kind of open up about it, hey, I give her props and, wish her well
Let's go
recovery.
back in time. I believe it was China that had one explode during a match, correct? Do you remember that?
Give me the details again.
And I'm a little foggy, obviously. China, Joni Lar, no longer with us, but I believe during her run as Mamacita around the Playboy days, she had a breast implant explode. It must have been too many front bumps, from landing, on her front that she had one explode. And again, I wasn't there to see what type it was. Was it saline? Was it silicone? I mean, I don't know that. But I do know that China had that happen as well. So, I mean, and women that are professional wrestlers, of course, they're taking more, bumps and run more risks. And, it's 2020 now. I again, not a doctor. I only play one on the radio. But breast implants have been around a lot longer than we really think. It's not just from the 80s. So, I mean, this is something that they've hopefully perfected over the 40, 50 years that's been going on.
Exactly. So hopefully, her recovery goes well, and as far as time recovery goes as expected, and that we do get, one of the best stars of WWE back in the ring very soon.
Yeah, because that's really my only goal is make sure she's healthy and able to come back. I mean, if that means reduction, replacement, get an oil change, whatever that means. Come on back when you're ready. Let's talk SmackDown from last week as well. I know that we were going to talk Raw, but let's get into SmackDown real quick. Hardy defeats The Miz. The story between Sheamus and Hardy is still going on. Your thoughts on when it's going to end?
Well, I think I might have mentioned this last week. I was like, well, the whole toast to Jeff Hardy was pushed back a week. And then even then, Sheamus wasn't there. He was at his house or his makeshift bar, wherever he was. And then even this week, he wasn't there as well. So I'm going to assume perhaps he was exposed to COVID and taking that, 2-week isolation. But the barroom brawl or bar fight, perhaps here.
Well, you've bartended, right? I mean, that's one of the gimmicks. And I've bartended. I haven't done it in a while, but I mean, we're both kind of from the same world. You ever had anybody throw a drink in your face?
No. Thankfully not.
I luckily have not as well, even though I've been threatened with a lot more.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I was just thinking, well, here we go. Another sorry, quote, cinematic match, whether that be good or bad for the pay-per-view.
Sure.
I feel, given the situation, with no fans allowed for the pay-per-view, why not? We haven't seen a good old bar fight on wrestling TV in a while. I mean, unless
we had a couple seconds between Omega and Jake Hager, but it was seconds.
Right, which that was awesome, but I mean, I don't foresee Vince McMahon wanting to do something too similar to that recent fight on AEW, where we had use of the pool table, the bottles of the Bayley being broken on their heads, and then the milk, and then the Jack Daniels, toast, whatnot. I see this being just a good old hard-hitting bar fight. As far as where they'll be, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know what the complete bar situation is down in Orlando right now. I know the cases in Florida are going up, but they can always build their own bar on the set of the Performance Center as well. But I kind of saw that coming once they were mentioning what the stipulations like they're doing for majority of the matches for the horror show, that it would be something unique, or just something, I should say necessarily unique, but a specialty match, and it just makes sense for this. And I just really hope this closes that chapter once and for all between.
Well, it's funny that you say specialty match, because we have a pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, and as far as the WWE pay-per-view, it's going to be full of specialty matches. So I mean, with the PWR draft, technically we got a lot of points to win now. So I'm a little bit excited about that they're all just named something, so that way we get more points.
Right. That helps us out then.
All right, let's talk Raw real quick. So, and I was going to segue off of SmackDown into Raw. Excuse me. there was a women's tag team title match between your girls, Cross and Bliss, taking on my girls, technically the champions, Bayley and Sasha. Bayley and Sasha winning, and now there will be a title match tonight between the Kabuki Warriors, who are officially my girls, even though I've been pulling for Asuka because Kairi Sane's never been around, but I did draft the Kabuki Warriors. There will be a title match tonight. Your thoughts? Who's winning? Who's going over? Are my girls keeping it, or are my girls winning it?
I don't see the belts changing hands tonight. Just because we do have, I mean, I was going to say the pay-per-view this weekend, but they're not facing each other as a tag team. They're doing their title matches with their respective brands.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see that changing hands. I do like the idea of, I mean, I know they're not on my draft team, but as a whole, I do like the idea of Sasha and Bayley having all the belts.
Yeah.
Just because they're just so hot right now. They really, really are. And I wouldn't want the straps taken from them when they're on top of their game with a lot of...
Right, I'd rather have the straps on the girls.
Right. Yes. Exactly. And the championship belts. So in that regard, I don't know if let's just say the Kabuki Warriors do get the belts, the tag team belts. I mean, I just don't see.
You don't see any kind of business from it. I don't either.
Yeah, because you want Sasha and Bayley to continue their hype, the momentum, like just what they've been doing going into the pay-per-view. Otherwise, a lot of the excitement gets pulled away, and you want to see them possibly get all the titles and just continue with being the first for the women's division.
Yeah, I think it would be amazing. And the other thing I wanted to talk about now that we're on to Raw, a match for Extreme Rules on Sunday. When I get bored, I go back in the good old WWE network, and I like to watch some old WCW pay-per-views because, folks, that's what I am. I'm WCW Meathead. It just is what it is. I happened to stumble across, because I was bored, and I pulled up Nitro from April 10th, 2000. Do you know why that number and date is significant, Linda? It was April 10th, 2000.
10th, 2000.
That was the day everybody lost their belts. That was the new era. Bright blue ring apron. They took all the belts off. Okay. Everybody came in. Russo and Bischoff are working together as a team. Millionaires Club, New Blood, that whole thing. So I go to watch that, and then I watch Thunder after that and see how it goes. I was at that Spring Stampede, which was at the United Center. Got free tickets. I don't remember from who, but went down there, watched the show. Do you know there was an eye for an eye match on that card?
No.
Well, it wasn't necessarily a match, but it was Mancow versus Jimmy Hart. And he goes, how about an eye for an eye? How ironic is that I'm sitting there poking around and I watch Spring Stampede 2000, eye for an eye with Mancow, Mueller, and Jimmy Hart. The match was the Drizzlings, but it makes me think of what we're going to get between Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, where somebody literally has to lose an eye.
Right. Aye,
Captain.
Like I mentioned last week, this is one that I'm looking forward to. I want to see the revenge in place for Seth Rollins. I mean, hopefully. I mean, how many eyes are Rey going to lose, or is Dominic going to lose the eye, or did they really say whose eye would be taken from the Mysterio family? If
no idea. See what I did there? Idea, but then again, Thor, he's on his third eye too, so. So you can get multiple eyes.
Gotcha.
You never know. You might have Rocket around to hand you a new eyeball.
So, I mean, I was going to say eye again. I don't know.
I don't know.
I want to see this eye match. It's horror show related. So there we go.
Fair enough. Linda, we've been all over the place tonight, and I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for helping keep this. Because if it's just me, honestly, it's dick and fart jokes. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Right. So thank you for keeping it clean for me.
Absolutely.
Folks, make sure that on the Facebook, the YouTube, the Stitcher, the Spotify, the Sprecher Root Beer, whatever podcast streaming service you're using, make sure you're giving us a like and subscribe. It's working, folks. I watch the numbers. They are going up consistently. So we're getting more likes, more subscribes, more listens. Spread the news, spread the word, interact with us, and make sure that you're checking us out here at PWR360.com. Linda, anything else before we walk off into the sunset here on a beautiful Monday morning?
Just stoked to see what kind of Raw or the Go Home show is for Raw. So we shall see.
10-4. And we shall see you guys tomorrow morning with David Hero. For Linda K, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.